HBO's The Gilded Age is well known for its period-accurate recreations of 1800s New York. The production team has an interest in filming locations that shows how important the on-location sets are to the show. Viewers enjoy going back in time each season through the show's detailed and rich settings. So let's dive deeper. Season 3 was filmed in several historic locations throughout the states of New York and Rhode Island. Key cities that served as filming spots in New York include Troy, Schenectady, Albany, and of course, New York City. In Rhode Island, production used Newport and Providence as filming sites for the series. All these places were specifically chosen thanks to their well-preserved 19th century architecture that fits the show's time period perfectly. In August 2024, the crew was spotted filming in Troy's Central Historic District. Several roads were closed like Congress Street and 3rd Street to make way for the team. In October and November, production had shut down Pauling Avenue, where locals were asked if their homes could be used in the show for exterior shots of the town. Troy has become an important part of the series. Museums in the city have started offering the Gilded Age-themed tours for fans. Season 3 saw the addition of new filming locations like Schenectady in eastern New York. Production used the Stockade neighborhood, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the state, and is full of beautiful old 19th century style houses. Albany, the state capital, which is just 15 miles southeast of Schenectady, returned as a major filming location for the series. Albany usually serves as the show's filming locations for government buildings or other large, important-looking places to match the show's high society themes. Of course, any show that films in the state of New York will also use its largest city as a filming location. Although most of the show is filmed in upstate New York, several scenes are shot in New York City. Filming in the city is expensive and tricky, and the show tends to use historic buildings that just can't be recreated elsewhere. Several of the suburbs around the city, like White Plains, have been used. There, production used Manhattanville College's Reed Hall to serve as various locations, including offices, a home parlor, and an art gallery museum. Long Island is used quite a bit as a filming location for the series. Old Bethpage Village restoration is an authentic recreation of a mid-19th century Long Island village that includes a mansion, brownstones, merchants, and a Pennsylvania train depot. HBO and the production rented the space out to recreate a Long Island community and treat it like a backlot. Not far is the Gold Coast Studios, where some of the interior scenes are shot on soundstages. Production also used Providence, Rhode Island, since the capital has its own special 19th century look. Old homes on Benefit Street, which is also known as Mile of History thanks to the large and historical buildings located there, were used for production. Newport was also a filming location thanks to its famous, huge, fancy mansions. Production used it to show how the rich spent their summers during the Gilded Age. Several mansions were used from the city like the Elms, Marble House, and Rosecliff, which we will talk about in a bit. Newport's historic district has 6 National Historic Landmarks, which includes the city's oldest house, the former seat of colonial and state legislatures, and the renovated Viking Hotel. One of the most notable filming locations is Hunter House, a historic home dating back to 1748. In the first season, it was used to portray the elegant Pennsylvania residence of the Scott family, a distinguished black family originally from Brooklyn. Among them is Peggy, played by Danae Benton, an aspiring writer working as a secretary for Agnes Van Ryn, played by Christine Baranski. According to production designer Bob Shaw, finding the right visual balance for the home was a creative challenge. The Scotts were a privileged class within their own community, he noted, so it was a question of how grand to go, how lavish. One of the toughest design challenges this season was transforming a modern Newport building into the Tenderloin nightclub. Originally a plain white space with a shallow stage and modern staircase, it needed a full makeover. Shaw tackled this by embracing the 19th century trend of Orientalist design, using Turkish-inspired prints to create a moody, exotic atmosphere without building a full set. Behind every detail is deep historical research. Shaw's team uses a growing in-house archive and online photo databases to ensure accuracy, from wallpaper to trim. But it's not just about facts, it's how that research is creatively interpreted that gives the Gilded Age its signature visual depth. We've mentioned a few of the famous mansions that the show has shot in, but let's take a closer look at them. First up, we have Marble House, which was built by William Vanderbilt as a 39th birthday present for his wife, Alva. In the show, several of the real-life rooms inspired Mr. and Mrs. Russell's rooms. The modern equivalent of its construction cost comes to an astounding $388.6 million. Another famous mansion is known as the Elms. It was modeled after an 18th century French chateau, and featured the latest technology of the Gilded Age at the time. It was the summer home of Mr. and Mrs. Edward Julius Berwind, and the mansion has 50 rooms and covers 31,000 square feet. The kitchen of the Elms is used as the Russells' New York City mansion kitchen, where the servants work and gossip. Its construction cost is estimated at $53 million. Another mansion is Rosecliff, a 30-room mansion in Newport that was modeled after King Louis XIV's Grand Trianon Palace in Versailles. It served as the summer home for Teresa Fair Ulrichs, aka the Bonanza heiress. In the show, the ceiling of the ballroom actually serves as the show's opening credits. The updated construction cost is $94 million. A fourth famous mansion in the show is the Breakers, one of the grandest Gilded Age mansions in Newport. Cornelius Vanderbilt II built the mansion as his summer home, and production utilized the music room and billiard room for several scenes throughout the series. The mansion's construction cost has been disputed, with estimates ranging from $267.9 million to $459.2 million. While the Gilded Age includes some constructed sets, much of the series was filmed on location to streamline production. As Shaw explains, building a large set like the Russell Ballroom wouldn't have been practical since it was only needed for 2 episodes. Rather than use limited studio space, the team chose to shoot those scenes at the Breakers in Newport, Rhode Island. And when it comes to filming at historic locations, Shaw and his team use extreme caution and a detailed process. They cover all the floors whether they are filming in that exact location or not, and they only reveal the flooring that is seen on the camera. The team also partially covers the walls to avoid possible bumps and scrapes. Shaw and his team work closely with the property's conservators to ensure that they are comfortable with every step of the process. The conservators favor preservation over restoration in a number of the mansions and historical buildings that production films in. Typically, it takes the team 7 to 10 days to film at a location. However, the kitchen in the Elms in Newport is shown in every episode of Season 3, so the home's conservators had to close it down for about 4 weeks. During that time, no tourists or guests were allowed in. The biggest issue for production, though, is how they deal with the original period furnishings that are in the locations. It is strictly prohibited to sit on centuries-old pieces of furniture. Even if we think that a room looks perfect, we need to swap out any furniture that the actors will sit on or even place a teacup on, says Shaw. The fabrics and wall coverings in the homes are also in delicate conditions, so the team engineers pieces of scenery that are self-supporting and don't come into contact with the existing surfaces. The show moves their camera team and units throughout the space by moving one piece of equipment at a time and ensuring all camera and lighting rigs are equipped with tennis balls at the bottom so as to not scratch anything. Actors are brought onto the sets in small groups so as to not overcrowd or damage a space. Of course, when the team builds their own sets, they have a lot more control in what they can do. But Shaw says using these historical buildings adds a layer of authenticity to the show that has never been seen before. Thanks to HBO's deep pockets and the team's attention to historically accurate details, The Gilded Age cements itself as one of the most historically accurate period dramas to ever exist in television. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to find out when the latest Collider videos drop.